Welcome to Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth always matters. Your hosts are Charlie the Country Conservative and Brendan Statler from The Brendan Statler Show. Now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, because here on the Conservative Viewpoint, we dive deep into the tempest that swirls over the United States, a nation grappling with challenges that test its very fabric of being a free country. Joe Biden, the helmsman of the ship of state, sails through treacherous waters, buffeted by storms on all sides. Let us unfurl the banner of truth and examine the tempest that rage. The inflation dragon breathes fire, scorching wallets and crushing dreams. Prices soar and the dollar wanes, leaving families to grapple with the cost of living. The ghost of history haunts us still. Systematic racism persists, casting shadows over justice, education, and opportunity. This administration must confront this legacy head on, weaving a tapestry of equality and inclusion. But yet, they continue to divide us as a nation. Within our borders, a serpent, a venomous brew of conspiracy theories, misinformation, and anti-democratic fervor, the Capitol protest stands as a stark reminder that democracy is fragile and unity elusive. Biden's task is to mend the rifts, to heal the wounds, and to safeguard the republic. But all he has done is cause rifts, inflict wounds, and he will not protect the republic. So the world watches, assessing America's place on the stage. Allies seek reassurance. Adversaries test boundaries. Escalating tensions with Russia and China. A chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal. And questions about credibility. There are threads of foreign policy Biden must weave into a coherent tapestry. And so, my fellow citizens, as we gather around the digital world, let us engage in discourse, challenge assumptions, and seek common ground. For the United States is not merely a landmass, it's an idea, an audacious experiment in democracy. Our voices, our choices shape its destiny. May we navigate these troubled waters with wisdom, resilience, and shared commitment to a brighter dawn. I hope you guys have been having a good Thursday, so sit back, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Again, as always, I'm going to ask you guys, go to our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative, and Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Check out our videos, share them with your friends and family, even your liberal friends.
Especially your liberal friends.
No doubt. They might learn something from all this. So, but I doubt it. But we can always hope.
Probably.
If you're not on Rumble, okay, that's fine. You can go to Twitter. You can catch us there. What's yours on Twitter, Brendan?
My name on there is the Brendan Statler Show. My handle is Let's Go Brendan _5.
Yeah, you go there. Mine's Country Conservative, and the new YouTube page. You still can't find it if you put it in search, but it is supposed to be Conservative Viewpoint. But for some reason, when I put it in there, it won't come up. My first YouTube page is Country Conservative 1776 if you're not on Rumble, but you need to make a Rumble account. You got to get there. Rumble is up and coming to take over from the liberal-ass YouTube. So make a Rumble account so we can get on there. I need to get more subscribers on the first one for some reason. I don't know why, but or the new one, because it says it doesn't publicize it when you don't have subscribers yet. We just opened it a couple days ago. So if you want, you can try to find it. I'm not sure why, but I need to get the link and put it on here so people can see it.
Who needs YouTube anyway?
Yeah, true. You get the Rumble account. You'll love it. Trust me. So don't forget to follow us on Rumble. and give us those thumbs up. That helps our YouTube page, our Rumble page. Man, get the YouTube out of your head. So
Yeah.
we do have an email. It's conservative viewpoint at yahoo.com. And you can leave comments on anywhere, in YouTube, Rumble, or anywhere. We check them daily, and we'll get back to you as soon as we get the questions, comments, whatever, good or bad comments. It don't matter. You can leave them in chat, because we stream on Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, which is X, the 2 YouTube ones, locals, Twitch. We try to get them all. Anywhere that you get your podcast, that's where you'll find us. So now I didn't do that yet either, which I'm going to put the link in again. All you guys, anybody that wants to come on, ask their questions live on here. I'm sticking them in X and here on Rumble in the chat. And I'm going to nail Facebook here too. I can do that. And we get them all. So if you guys want to come on live with us, click the link. It'll bring you onto our show, and you can ask your question. So I know you guys are curious, just like I am, about what's going on around the country. So if you have anything you want to say, go ahead and say it, either on the chat or join us on the show, and we'll talk about whatever you want. Being liberals, it don't matter. We'll talk about it. So let's get this party started. What's going on, Brendan?
Well, I don't have anything too awful news breaking today, but I think this is something worth mentioning. Right. So everybody knows how President Trump is tied up in the courtroom constantly in New York City. Yeah. The judge won't let him miss any time, and it's really limiting Trump's campaign. We saw a few weeks ago how Trump visited the bodega in New York City and how a massive number of supporters came out and wanted to meet him, shake his hand, take selfies with him, and all that good stuff. Well, Trump capitalized again today. He delivered pizza to New York City firefighters as soon as he got out of court and met with a bunch of firefighters in New York City. This is an absolutely great campaign strategy by President Trump and his team. The deep state is doing everything they can to take him out of the race, whether it's taking him off the ballot or just limiting his ability to campaign. But Trump is adapting and growing even more stronger than these people could have imagined by just simply going and talking to the people, in this case of New York City, one of the bluest areas in the country, and he's drawing massive amounts of people, massive numbers of people to come and see him. This is something that the deep state never thought possible in New York City. This is showing that MAGA is the majority of the country. We are not the minority of the country, as the media suggests. And President Trump has proven that by just showing up to random spots in New York City, because he's stuck in New York in these Moscow show trials. Whoever decided to do this in President Trump's team, whether it's him or it's somebody in his team, this is absolutely perfect. This is a perfect strategy for the situation that President Trump is in right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is making him more popular than ever before. He was popular enough already.
Absolutely. Can you imagine real quick if they throw him in jail for contempt? Like they're talking about doing? You could pretty much ensure Donald Trump will be president if he is if they put him in handcuffs and haul him off the jail. You could guarantee his victory at that point.
Oh, most definitely. Now, they also go fit right in, because today we're going to get into Trump has been awarded $1.8 billion more shares of True Social. And I know this has to piss off the Democrats, because Trump is still winning. And I love every minute of this. And it's so great. So President Trump has secured an additional $1.8 billion worth of shares in Trump Media, according to the regulatory filing this week. Now, before we get into this too far, I'm going to let you watch this video. And looks like it's a little bit long, but anything to piss off the Democrats, I got to show you. So watch this.
Former President Donald Trump recently secured 36 million additional shares of stock from Trump Media and Technology Group, according to Securities and Exchange Commission filings. This raises his stake in the Truth Social parent company to nearly 65%. The bonus, valued at $1.8 billion as of Tuesday, was given to Trump last Friday because performance criteria of the media company's stock was satisfied. Again, this according to an SEC filing. Trump now owns a 64.9% stake in the company, which closed up nearly 7% on Tuesday at $49.93, bucking broad market sell-offs. Trump Media shares briefly broke the $50 per share threshold in early Wednesday morning trading, before falling back below it shortly thereafter. Trump's 64.9% stake equates to a total of 114.75 million shares in the media company, which has experienced a 60% increase in its share price in the last 5 days of trading. The value of Trump's new shares could fluctuate significantly, as the company's stock dropped as low as $22.84 last month before recovering. The former president and other company executives are prohibited from selling their shares for another 5 months when a lockup period expires. Trump's company has a market cap of $6.8 billion and has proved volatile in the past month, trading as high as $51.60 and as low as $22.84. The company's public listing and payouts to Trump have come as the former president is engaged in several state and federal legal battles. For more on this story, check out Antonio Pequeño IV's article in the link in the description.
Now, don't you just love it? Based on the company stocks hitting certain price benchmarks, Trump was awarded the 36 million shares. You saw that on his True Social account. This brings his total ownership up to 114 million shares, which, based on Wednesday morning stock prices, are worth about $5.7 billion. I'm just loving this because the Democrats are raging about this because they are trying to ruin Trump and keep him from being president again. But with all the true patriots' help in this country, Trump will regain the White House come November 5th.
Yeah, and how could you not love this if you're on this side, the side that wants to save this country? Because everything they have done, this brings me back to my original point a little bit, everything that they have done to take Trump out, the things that they have done, and most of our audience will understand this because most of them, I'm assuming at least, have been paying attention to politics for a while. Just an indictment alone, one indictment alone, would have completely sank a campaign. Hell, the Access Hollywood tape would have sank most campaigns. But everything they throw at this guy, everything they try to do to take him out, he turns around and he gets stronger with it somehow. It's no wonder that these people have Trump derangement syndrome. Everything they know to do to take somebody out of a race they don't like, Trump turns it around and he uses it to his benefit. They cannot stop this guy, no matter what they do. It's just, it really is hilarious to see all this play out, over the span of what are we at now? 7, almost 8 years this has been going on, the Get Trump campaign.
Oh,
I mean, it's just it's amazing how this guy just continues to get more and more support, more and more popular. And I'm telling you, the only way this guy does not take back the White House is if we as voters are lazy and we do not go out and vote. That's what it comes down to.
Oh, it is too. You're right. And that's why we're doing these videos and these live streams for you guys, so we can get more information out. Because doing those 5, 7, 10-minute videos, you can't get all the information out that you want to get out. So that's why we decided to do this. So that's why we ask you guys to share our videos and get our word out, to get more people in to watch us, so we can get the truth out and wake people up to see the truth, because we need all hands on deck for this election.
We need to be out in full force.
Exactly. And I just found out that my nephew's girlfriend, and if she's listening on Facebook, is not even registered to vote yet. You can get your ass out there and you get registered.
You have to.
My nephew
you absolutely have to.
Yeah, my nephew's Republican. She got to get out there. I hope she's watching, because I told her I was going to put her out there. So she's not registered to vote yet, but I'll get her ass to vote. I'm telling you.
Is she one of those ones that just doesn't really care about politics? She's like truly neutral in the whole thing. Okay, I know a few people like that too.
Yeah,
those are the hard.
They don't watch the news. They don't do any of that crap.
Those really are the hardest people to get out and go vote. I've tried that with quite a few people I know that aren't, they're not Trump, but they're not Biden. They're completely neutral. They don't want anything to do with it. Well,
but it's not that she doesn't want to watch it.
Yeah, but at the same time, these people, they don't want to go out and vote, but they'll bitch about the economy. It's like, well, this is your ticket out of it, whether you want to admit it or not. That's the only way to.
Yeah, she doesn't bitch about that either. She just
right. Yeah, I'm not saying her in particular. I'm saying that's how a lot of people that I've dealt with are.
Well, a lot of people.
I don't know her. I can't speak to how she
but
is.
A lot of people cut the cord, so they don't watch news.
Right.
They stream stuff. They watch. They should be watching Rumble, but sometimes they watch YouTube or TikTok or something like that. That's what they do, and we can't stream. We can't stream to the commie site TikTok because they don't allow you to do it. You have to be on their site to do it, and you can only do it with phone. You can't do it on a computer.
Hey, I will say the best news outlets now are completely free. If you have a smart TV, you could download their app. There's Real America's Voice. Yeah,
that's why we're here. The conservative viewpoint.
Yeah, yep. You got us. You got Real. Yeah, you got us. You got Real America's Voice. You got One America News. You got even Frank's Speech, Mike Lindell's network. The best content is free.
Yeah, and Carol, I put you out there. Did you hear that? I did put you out there and said you got to go register. You're not registered to vote. I hope you heard that. See, she's on Facebook. She says she's here.
Oh, is that her in the comments right there?
Yeah, that's her. So
that's awesome. Hey, I will say at least she's watching. That's awesome.
That's right. All right, guys, we'll get back into this. We got just what he was talking. Brendan was talking about trying to jail Trump. We got legal experts saying jailing Trump could ignite a mass protest. The following of impositions of the contempt of court and the fine on Tuesday against Trump, legal experts have credited caution that the threatened jail term by the judge could lead to a widespread upheaval. Now I'm going to let you watch this video. It's about 59 seconds long. It's about them trying to jail Trump. Now listen to this. Oh, shit.
Former President Donald Trump received the clearest threat of jail time yet. During his criminal trial on Tuesday, a judge said jail may be a necessary punishment for future gag order violations. Experts say this could have large consequences for his 2024 presidential election bid. Judge Juan Merchan, who is presiding over the criminal hush money trial, found him in contempt for 9 violations of his gag order. Trump said his 4 criminal cases are election interference. It's a claim that could be authenticated if Merchan decides to put him in jail over social media posts before the trial's expected end in late May. Trump spoke out against the gag order on Tuesday.
This gag order is not only unique, it's totally unconstitutional. I'm the Republican candidate for President of the United States. It's ridiculous. I'm supposed to be in Georgia. I'm supposed to be in New Hampshire. I'm supposed to be in Ohio and lots of other places. And they have me sitting here for a Biden trial.
Now, this is nothing but election interference from a corrupt judge merchant in a Democrat party. And this is the kind of stuff that needs stopped, and everyone out there knows it, except for the brainwashed liberals that this is all by design from the Democrats, because Joe Biden isn't smart at all to devise something like this and to keep Trump from being president of the United States and to expose more, because they know that he's going to expose more of their corruption and all the corruption in DC, and they want to continue to have that blank check from the taxpayers of this country. Think they can just write out a check whenever they feel like it. Now, you guys can't, if you guys can't open your eyes and see what's going on, and this is nothing but about power and money, and we need to put a stop to it.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, you know, it's kind of funny in a way that they keep doing this, that they keep, like, if you watch, you know, if you could stand it for more than 20 minutes watching CNN, you go through CNN, the guide on CNN, that's what their entire program was today, was covering this trial. Like, do these people really think that this is making Trump look bad? Like I said before, people see right through this. This has made Trump more desirable to voters. A lot of Americans understand that the entire Washington apparatus is corrupt on both sides of the aisle. The majority of people understand that, and they see how they are targeting this one individual in Donald Trump and how obviously petrified they are of this guy getting anywhere near the White House again, that they're going after him on bogus charges that really most aren't even crimes, and the ones that you could possibly argue are crimes are nothing more than mere misdemeanors, and they're turning them into like 38 felony counts or whatever some of these are. You know, people see through this, and this is why Trump is gaining support. Trump is more popular today than he has ever been, and he was pretty popular through his first term in office, because Trump really won in 2020. We know this. We know it was stolen from him, and we're going to keep saying that no matter how much YouTube and Facebook try to shut us down. Trump won in 2020, and he actually did much better in 2020 than he did in 2016, as he likes to say all the time. But Trump is going to win in massive numbers this election if we all do our job. It does not matter what they try to do to steal this election. Trump is going to win in massive numbers if we do our job, and the reason he's going to win in massive numbers is because the people have been woken up by these Moscow show trials and these persecutions, not prosecutions, persecutions of Donald Trump that we have seen.
That's for sure. You got that right. It is a persecution, and nothing else about it. Now, well, I'm going to keep talking about corruption here. We got Jim Jordan, and not on my highest list right now, but he accused DA Fannie Willis and Jack Smith of conspiracy. And this also includes Alvin Bragg and Letitia James. They all are in this together. Now, and I got another video for you. I pieced this together of Jim Jordan talking about all this. So what did I make it? Yeah, it's just a little long too, but you got to watch this and listen to what he has to say.
I mean, is that resonating on people? Because whether or not what you're saying is right, that there's no crime.
Come on, Jim.
I mean, is that resonating on people? Because whether or not what you're saying is right, that there's no crime, we can't figure out what the crime is. President Trump is in court every day, all day long. And he's sitting there, and then you've got Joe Biden on the other side of the screen campaigning in all of these swing states. After a while, does this resonate in the psyche of American citizens and voters that they just assume one guy's bad, one guy's good?
I think we're way past that, because they've seen this weaponization of government. They've seen this lawfare, and they've seen just the escalation of attacks on President Trump all the way back to 2016. I always say, you know, they spied on his campaign. Then it was the Mueller investigation. Then it was impeachment. Then they raid his home. Then it's Jack Smith. Then it's Alvin Bragg. Then it's FANI Willis. Then it's the 14th Amendment, and on and on. And now it's this trial in New York. It's the gag order. If there's one thing that probably bugs me more than anything else, it's the fact that they put a gag order on the president of the United States, former president of the United States, and the nominee for the Republican Party running for president. He's got a gag order, but Michael Cohen, a convicted perjurer, gets to say whatever he wants. When you looked at what happened at the Supreme Court, and it looked like the arguments went very well for our side, When you look at what happened there, everyone's saying, oh, well, this is going to probably get sent back to a lower court, and they're going to sort through the facts, and that's going to take time, and there won't be a trial before the election. All the mainstream media is talking about, oh, we're not going to have a trial before the election. Well, why the heck does that matter? I thought you should be focused on getting to the truth and getting to the facts. No, no, no. It just points out it's all political. Bragg is, the crime he's kind of trying to get to is, oh, President Trump was involved trying to, a conspiracy to obstruct the 2016 election. And then Jack Smith is saying President Trump was involved in a conspiracy to interfere with the 2020 election. Seems to me the truth really is Alvin Bragg and Jack Smith are in a conspiracy to impact the 2024 race. And frankly, FANI Willis is part of that effort as well.
Now, this just goes right along with everything else that I've been saying about this has been a setup from probably before he announced he was running for president in 2016, because they knew he was not a person to be played with. He knew he was going to expose their corruption when he became president, and that's exactly what he did. So they've been working on this since he came down that escalator, or even probably before. Now, if you guys have any opinions on this, please let us know in chat. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They've been working on this ever since he came down the escalator, because if you remember, before Donald Trump even entertained the idea of running for president, as a serious candidate, because we all know he ran back in the 90s, I believe it was. And he, of course, that campaign went nowhere. When he was really serious about running for president in 2016, before he decided to run as a serious candidate, he was one of the first ones that raised questions about Barack Obama's birth certificate. So these people have been trying to discredit him and take him down ever since then, I believe. And then once he came down the escalator, it was all out war. And honestly, I want to mention this real quick. Jim Jordan is the last person that should be going on Fox News and acting like he is so appalled that this is happening. Jim Jordan and the rest of the Republican members of Congress can do something about all this. They could show that they have some stones and fight back against this, but they have not to this point, and they're not going to, because many of them are not on Trump's side. They are not MAGA. They just claim to be MAGA so they can keep getting reelected. And Jim Jordan is one of the leading forces in that. Jim Jordan is a big problem. Jim Jordan is not our friend. He is our enemy, and I really hope that he gets a true MAGA conservative challenger, and I hope he is primary, because this guy is an absolute waste of skin, along with many other Republicans we have in Congress.
And the problem I have with him is that he's chairman of the Judiciary Committee.
Exactly.
And has done nothing except hold hearings, and that's all he's done, and send letters. And
go on Fox News and act like he's so appalled with how they're treating Trump and conservatives and all this other stuff. It's all phony. It's all a show.
Well, yeah, because they keep saying, "Well, we have all this evidence. This evidence.
Well, then,
got all this. Why aren't you doing something with it?" Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Do something. Quit talking and do something.
Right. So
yeah,
that's what I have a problem with him and Comer, because Comer's the head of the big, he's the big boss, and yet nothing gets done, and I have a big problem with that.
The Republicans are the do-nothing party, unfortunately, and but they're the lesser of two evils, and it has to change, and hopefully it'll change once we get President Trump in there, and he could start putting his foot in their ass, to make them start acting more, because that is why a lot of people don't want to vote Republican anymore, because the Republican Party does nothing when they have power, and that has to stop, and it's all by design. The Republican Party is controlled opposition.
Right. Now, this segment, we're going to go over some of the protest stuff that's been going on for the past few days. Now, if nothing else, this will make you smile. Now, the NYPD restores Old Glory after clearing I think that's his community college of New York, and the protesters out. Now, these idiot protesters wanted to hang, they did hang a terrorist flag up on this thing. Now, the dramatic video of the New York Police Department members tearing down a Palestinian terrorist flag and raising the United States flag after arresting anti-Israel protesters Tuesday night at the City College of New York has spread on social media like wildfire. We have that video for you, so I want you to take a look at that. That pisses me off right there.
Absolutely.
But what they do with it makes me happy. So watch this, guys.
They should have burned it afterwards.
No kidding. Now, there you go.
That's the only flag that should be flying.
Exactly. I say that too. Now 25 more seconds. But just
I think something similar happened at the University of North Carolina, did it not?
oh yeah, they were holding up the fraternity guys were holding the flag off the ground so it wouldn't get, and people were throwing stuff at it, flipping the middle finger and everything to it. So that was the best thing to come out of this terrorist sympathizer destroying college campuses over Hamas terrorists and the genocide that they are inflicting on the Palestinian people, let alone the brainwashing that they've done to these people for years and years, of brainwashing, because they are controlled in Gaza by Hamas, the terrorists.
Yes.
And these idiot kids are supporting the genocide of Palestinian people by Hamas. It's sickening to watch. If they feel that strongly about it, move your asses to Gaza and stay there. Like Brendan said, the only flag that belongs in this country is our American flag, no other. If you don't like it, move the fuck out of the United States. I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
they want to flip off
absolutely.
the bird and they want to sit there and reap the benefits of what America is. But when it comes to bullshit like this, and they want to believe what the hell Hamas is doing is right, and they were trying to blame Israel on genocide. It wasn't Israel. It was Hamas that caused the genocide.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple aspects of this that we've mentioned before, but I want to state it again real quick in case we had people that didn't see it before. So we now know that a lot of these protesters are being paid by George Soros, like we suspected. And many of these people they're finding on college campuses that are setting up these tent cities and are, protesting and harassing students, particularly Jewish students, aren't even students at that school. They're not even students at any school. They're just showing up and they're protesting. And by the way, Charlie, did you see the video on Twitter? It's been going all over Twitter of them unloading these tents. I forget what school it's at. They're unloading these tents. There's like hundreds of tents for these people to use. They're all the same exact tent.
Really?
Yeah, so it just shows to show you this
today?
No, this is a few days ago.
Oh,
I saw this video. They're all the same
with backhoes. They were loading them into dumpsters.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after we get off here. But they're all the same tent. They're all the same color scheme. Like they're identical. Like nobody goes. Like there's no way these people just went and bought the same exact tent. This is all being funded, and we know that and we know according to the New York Post, I believe that posted it, that reported on it was. George Soros is funding these protests, and to anybody that's been paying attention to politics over even the last few years, that's not a surprise to you because you remember he funded the BLM Floydapalooza protests.
Oh yeah, nobody got in trouble there either.
Yeah. So this is just a repeat of what we've seen last election year in 2020. They need the chaos. That's the only way that they could distract from all their bullshit is through this chaos. We can't fall for it again.
Yep.
The only way we get out of this is to vote Trump.
Right. Now we got Representative Byron Donald. I like this man. He did an interview with Newsmax and he said, "Cowardly Biden dithers on college protests." Now it's all President Joe Biden should be speaking out about the anti-Israel protests at the nation's college campuses, but he won't because he's a coward and he dithers. And Representative Byron Donald said on Tuesday, he said this. Now he's late to the game because I know he was going to go on today and supposed to say something. And I'm not sure. I wasn't watching it. I'm tired of hearing his lies. But he's always late to these crises as they come up. Well, it's probably because that they can't wake him up, or they got to change his diaper or something. Who's too busy sniffing kids or feeling women or plagiarizing his next speech. You know, who knows? But
yeah, he said, I don't know if this is today, but I'm assuming it is. Biden said that something along the lines of order must prevail or something like this. We know he really doesn't believe this because he won't come out and condemn it. He won't condemn it. He just says that order must prevail. Yeah, for real it is. You know, like I said, they want the chaos. They're on the side of the terrorists because, quite frankly, we got terrorists running this country right now. These are foreign agents that disguise themselves as representatives for the people, and they are the furthest thing from it. They're destroying the nation from within, so I consider these people terrorists.
Yep. But according to Donald, that Biden should be talking directly to the American people about this issue, particularly the college students who are being affected. When they're Jews, telling Jews they can't enter the college, they can't go to the library, they can't do any of this stuff. Only Jews. Now, this shit gotta stop here. But you know, that piece of shit, Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, like Brendan said, they're not going to go against them because they're afraid they're not going to get the votes. And that's what it's about. It's because the election is so close. It's so bad. This is fundamentally what's wrong with the United States. And he said that he's added that President Trump would have already spoken directly and taken action if he was still in office.
Yep, absolutely.
And Donald said this is a disgrace. Students shouldn't be allowed to go and get their education and not be interrupted by protesters. And they shouldn't be told that they can't enter a building because of being a Jew. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and these colleges should be stepping in and not. I'm sure that everybody's seen this. They're actually moving the Jewish students, some of these colleges, to remote learning. Why do the Jewish students have to accommodate to these terrorist sympathizers? All these people flying the Palestinian flag and intimidating Jewish students should just be kicked out of school. I mean, like I said before, can you imagine if people showed up dressed like the KKK and were threatening black students? How quickly that would be resolved immediately, and it should be. But it shouldn't be any different for these people. Why is it that Jewish people and really just white people in general are the only ones that you're allowed to discriminate against? Jewish students should not have to move to remote learning,
right?
Because they can't learn. I saw that I think it was UCLA just canceled their graduation because of this.
Yeah,
many of these kids that will be graduating now had their graduation in high school taken away from them because of the China virus scam.
Oh, right.
Now you're going to take their college graduation away from them just because you cannot control the situation. You cannot say that supporting terrorism and threatening Jewish students is wrong. I truly hope every institution that is allowing this goes completely under. I hope people pull their funding. I hope they all go away. Every institution that is allowing this, nobody should donate 1 penny to them. I hope nobody does, and I hope they go away.
Yep. And where was Joe Biden when all this started happening? In Delaware.
Sleeping.
In Delaware, yeah. In Delaware, in his basement, hiding so people can't ask him questions. And no one was on the back of his neck pulling the string so his mouth will move. So he is so worthless, it's unbelievable. Now we're going to get into this. This is pretty funny here. Congress opens a probe into mealy-mouthed, spineless college leaders, which you were talking about, Brendan, for failure to quell the protest. Anti-Israel protests have impacted 48 campuses and House Speaker Mike Johnson, of course, calling for all House response education, and Chairwoman Virginia Fox. You got to watch this little old lady. She got some spunk to her now. I got you this little video, minute 38 seconds, saying her exact words about the mealy mouth spineless college leaders. You got to listen to this.
I want to thank the Speaker also for making this an all of the House issue. It is an all of the House issue. It's an issue for our country. As Republican leaders, we have a clear message for mealy-mouthed, spineless college leaders. Congress will not tolerate your dereliction of duty to your Jewish students. American universities are officially put on notice that we have come to take our universities back. I applaud the Speaker for expanding the Committee on Education and Workforce's ongoing investigation into a Congress-wide initiative. No stone must go unturned while buildings are being defaced, campus greens are being captured, or graduations are being ruined. College is not a park for play-acting juveniles or a battleground for radical activists. Everyone affiliated with these universities will receive a healthy dose of reality. Actions have consequences. One of those consequences is that I have given notice to appear to Yale, UCLA, and Michigan to appear before the Education and Workforce Committee on May 23rd for a hearing on their handling of these most recent outrages. I look forward to working with my fellow House leaders on additional action to address these riots, and I yield to Frank Lucas.
Now, this committee chairman is warning that Congress is ready to impose consequences on these mealy-mouthed college leaders for their response to the ongoing campus disruptions. Every one of these kids who supported Hamas and the genocide of Palestinian people should be kicked out of school immediately. And what did I write? I don't even know what I wrote. But this is going to continue to grow. It's going to escalate.
Come on, Biden. Get through the teleprompter, Biden. Come on.
Yeah, no kidding. You got to watch that shit because this is going to continue to grow and escalate to a point where Hamas will come here if they're not already here, and they believe that they are. They're going to come here. They're going to brainwash these kids even more than what they are now and get them to join their terrorist cause and may have them commit some kind of violent act on their behalf, just like 9/11 in New York. If you don't think that's possible, you better wake the hell up and see for a fact that it could happen, because Joe Biden's open border policy has let a ton amount of terrorists already came across here, and a ton of them they've already caught. So the ones they didn't catch, so where are they? Now the violence and the chaos on these campuses as protesters and counter-protesters clash over a war. And this has got to stop too, because we're going to get into this. And it continued again last night. It definitely wasn't as bad as the night before when they had to bring the truck in and the bridge and break into the building that they occupied and supposedly held 3 janitors hostage. And that's according to the janitors, according to Fox News. The janitors said they were held hostage and told they couldn't leave. Now, they arrested them, but I didn't hear anything about if they were released like the other ones on no bail and the charges were dropped. But here's a little look at what's been going on these campuses. Take a look at this.
A potentially watershed moment in the college campus protests against the war in Gaza. Columbia University overnight calling in the New York Police Department to clear the encampment and the building pro-Palestinian protesters had taken over. More than 100 people were arrested, a mix of students and outside agitators who New York's mayor said had co-opted the movement.
And many people thought that this was just a natural evolution of a protest. It was not. These were professionals that were here.
Colombia's president saying the break-in of Hamilton Hall raised safety risks to an intolerable level, drawing a line between a proud tradition of protest and, quote, acts of destruction, not political speech. At the University of Wisconsin in Madison today, police clashing with and arresting protesters as they cleared that encampment. And overnight, Los Angeles police breaking up violent confrontations at UCLA between pro-Palestinian and counter-protesters. While at George Washington University in D.C., protests have been largely peaceful, though some students have been suspended.
This is going to be a long fight, but we're in this for the long haul, and we're going to do what it takes until we see divestment.
Even if it could potentially cost your academic career or others who are out here.
Yeah, I think this movement is bigger than any of us and more powerful than any of us.
House Republicans meeting with GW University leaders today as a student-led movement becomes a political flashpoint. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now, what are you teaching these kids when you arrest them, but then you release them on no bail and drop the charges? What the hell did they just teach these kids? Not a damn thing. When you drop the charges for the violence, you're telling them, oh, it's okay. You know, this is a typical Democrat-run playbook. It's all for votes. They're afraid that they're charging them with something like this. They won't vote for them anymore. Well, they're not going to anyways. They hate the United States, and they show it every day that they've been on here. But don't worry, you know, Joe Biden will pay their student loans off for them, or even though they hate the United States, or should I say, we, the taxpayers, will pay the student loans back for them. And that pisses me the hell off. Something needs done about this. So please join me on November 5th for the general election and vote this corrupt pieces of shit Democrats out of office.
Yeah, and like I said before, we shouldn't be surprised that this is happening because this is the exact same playbook, as you said, the Democrat playbook that we saw back in 2020. Remember, they were, during Floydapalooza, they were unloading trucks that had the signs in it that protesters, or I would like to call them rioters, and even in most cases animals, were taking to protest and riot, I guess, burn cities down. They were unloading the signs that these people were carrying off trucks. And when they would get arrested, who bailed them out? Kamala Harris. We remember this happening. This is exactly what happened in 2020. This is the exact same playbook. They're sticking with the same playbook because, you know, this is how they got Trump out of the White House the first time. They're trying to do it again. This is all by design. It is not coincidental. But I think that American people, their eyes have been opened so much over the last few years. They're not going to be successful this time. But this just shows you the level of desperation they have to keep Trump out of office, because Trump gave the people a seat at the table and he exposed all the corruption in D.C. And they know if he gets another 4 years in office, they're completely finished. Their reign is over. That is why it is so important to go out and vote for President Trump this election.
Well, not only that, now Joe Biden is going to fly these Palestinian people that have been brainwashed by Hamas terrorists into our country. He is welcoming them from Gaza. Now, here's a video on Ron DeSantis talking about this very exact thing. So it's only about a minute long, so you guys got to watch this, because if you didn't know about this, yes, Joe Biden's going to do this. Hey, watch this.
The second thing is there was a report out that Joe Biden is contemplating importing a bunch of Palestinian Arabs from the Gaza Strip into the United States of America. And I didn't even think Biden was crazy enough to do this. That is not in this country's interest. what we've seen over there, and we've seen the reflections in our own society of people out protesting in favor of Hamas terrorists. I mean, these are people that cooked babies in ovens while they were raping the babies' mothers, executing elderly people. We forget about what happened that day on October 7th, but that's what we're dealing with here. And to take people from that part of the world and import those blood feuds to this country, that is not in your interest or your family's interest. We should not be importing people in from the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, yep, you heard me right. You heard that. Biden administration is considering bringing these Palestinian people to the U.S. as refugees, a move that would offer a permanent safe haven to some of these people fleeing war-torn Gaza, according to international federal government documents. Now, have you guys heard and or seen enough of this Biden administration bullshit? Well, it's to talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit more here about the officials they've discussed it, getting the Palestinians out of Gaza and processing them as refugees if they have American relatives here. Now, that plan would require coordination with Egypt, which has so far refused a large number of people from Gaza. And why is Egypt not accepting people from Gaza? Because they know they have been brainwashed by these Hamas terrorists for years. And they know these people will commit an act of terrorism eventually, because that's how they are raised. That's all these people know. You cannot vet these people properly enough to trust that they will not commit an act of terrorism on our soil. I don't know what's going to take to wake these idiot liberal people up, but there's a new poll out. Now look at this. The poll of the Palestinian people that support Hamas is up to 90%. 90% of the Palestinian people support Hamas terrorism. And your installed piece of shit President Joe Biden wants to fly these people here on top of the illegal criminals, the almost 14 million illegal criminals that he has let in on the southern border, and the unknown amount of terrorists that have already crossed down there. How much more do you need to see or hear that Joe Biden, the Democrat Party, before you wake the hell up and come to realize that they are just destroying this country, and it's done on purpose?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I was just going to say. It's done on purpose. There's no way you can dismiss this as incompetence. I mean, this is a country this is a group in particular that would kill every single American given the opportunity. And they're going to fly them here. This is exactly what they want. They want another 9/11 type of attack to happen on U.S. soil. And I hate to say it, but it is reality. It is a very real possibility of another 9/11 type attack happening on U.S. soil here in the near future. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's a very real possibility. This is the most vulnerable we have ever been. This is definitely a scary time we're living through. And there's no way you could justify giving this guy another 4 years. There's absolutely no way. I don't care what your opinion is of Trump. This was not happening when Trump was in the White House. That is indisputable. I don't care how far left you are, how much you hate Trump. You know for a fact this was not happening when Donald Trump was in the White House. We cannot let this continue anymore.
Nope.
And honestly, the people that have not woken up to this point will never wake up. They'll go vote Biden or they'll sit out or whatever. There really is no convincing people otherwise, I don't think. I mean, if you're still considering voting for this guy after everything we have seen over the last few years, you're too far gone. You're too stupid to have any shred of common sense whatsoever. It's the people in the middle, the independent voters, we need to try to convince. That there's no way that you can convince somebody on the left at this point if they are still on the left.
Right. Now, I know the House just passed an anti-Semitism bill to try to curb some of this stuff, in these colleges and with this Gaza bullshit. And the racism against Jews now is like out of control. But now this bill is going to go to the Senate, and the legislation was opposed by 21 Republicans and 70 Democrats. Now that tells me it may fail the Senate, and they're going to vote against it.
Wouldn't
And
surprise me.
No, because that's taking people. They're gonna say it's taking away people's First Amendment rights and freedom of speech, but it's not when they're telling you they want to kill the Jews and all that. Now, I thought there was laws already on the book about this shit. Now, but if this becomes law, it will codify a definition of anti-Semitism created by the Internal Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, entitled 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So we do have stuff that are on the book to counter anti-Semitism, and it rests on 4 pillars: awareness, prevention, protection, and response. In summary, while the U.S. already has law and policy addressing this, recent efforts have made to strengthen the protection and promote awareness. It's essential to strike a balance between combating discrimination and safeguarding free speech. And free speech is fine, but when you're threatening people to kill them and the river to the sea, that is threatening to kill Jews. I don't give a shit what you say. It is. And if you don't like it, there's the door, there's an airplane, there's a one-way ticket, take it and fly. Flap your damn wings. I don't give a shit how you do it. Get the hell out of here if you don't like it.
Yeah, the First Amendment does not allow you to threaten other people, as you said.
Right.
And, like I said before, the colleges should be stepping in, and they should just shut this whole thing down completely. They shouldn't allow anybody to protest on campus. You want to go protest for Palestine and terrorism? Do it off campus. That's the message that these universities should be given to these students. And anybody that's caught protesting on campus, that's doing anything really that would, cause violence whatsoever, that could possibly cause violence, should be kicked out of school. I would say we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this. We've had how many students arrested? We have students here being threatened. We're not doing this anymore. It's over. You want to protest? Do it off campus. We're not dealing with it anymore.
Exactly right. But that's all the time we have for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Conservative Viewpoint. And again, please go check out our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative, and Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Again, check out our videos. Share them with your friends and family, even your liberal friends. Don't forget them.
Especially your liberal friends.
That's right. We can't leave them out. Or they'll call us prejudiced or fascist or racist or something like that. Whatever they call us. I don't give a shit what they call us. But we got to wake these people up somehow. And so again, when I ask you to join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m., same bat channel, for another great episode of the Conservative Viewpoint. And today, that we dissected the failures of the Biden administration, from the struggling economy to deepening racial division, we examined the rise of domestic extremism, the erosion of our global standing. But remember, as conservatives, we don't just point out problems, we seek solutions. Let's continue to engage in the thoughtful discourse, advocate for liberty, and work towards a stronger America. So until tomorrow, stay informed, stay principled, and keep the conservative flame burning. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.